Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jason. We're back. Another video. I'm still running. This is my third season on this car, and a few parts need upgrading. Let me get this body clip off. And I recently had my Hobby Wing Pro XR 8 G3. The latest one, and it failed on me. I'd only raced it probably, it wasn't a lot, maybe 8 or 10 times. And, the collar's off there. I was just cleaning it a little bit. But, I only raced it 8 or 10 times, and it did really well. And then, at the weekend before last, it just died. Landed a jump. Everything was smooth, not a bad landing, and just no power. And then it didn't even have power to the wheels. So I'm like, what the heck? And I looked, nothing was disconnected, like no bad solder joints. Everything was good to go. And it was just dead. So, and I did message Hobby Wing. They haven't responded. I did have a buddy let me borrow at ESC, but that one died. Now, it was a really small RTR Kyosho, and I don't think it could handle, the way that I drive. I drive pretty hard, so it melted one of these batteries a little bit, and it melted the soldering off the bullet. I'd never seen that before. Well, maybe seen it once or twice, when I use cheaper soldering irons, but when I solder that thing on there, I usually don't see it, my soldering joints come apart. So I'm really not sure what happened, but I'll keep an eye on that battery. I did repair it, but I'm not running that ESC anymore. This is a Hobby Star that I did just go in the settings. It's running at 8.4 BEC. Excuse my voice, guys. It's running. I was talking a lot today at work, but this thing also has what's it got? It's got different settings for like boost, and it's all ran through my ZTW ESC programming card. So I turned the acceleration up to high, turned everything up to high. It's just, that's what lots of people are doing these days, and then they'll tune it down with their radio if they need to. This is a 2200 kV motor. It's sensorless. The ESC is censored. I still have two Hobby Wing 1900s, but I'm liking this 2200, and I don't feel the sensor is any benefit. Now, this ESC has had problems in the past. Sometimes on a landing, like when the motor is getting the back EMF because it's rolling and I'm not under power, sometimes I'll hit the power and there'll be nothing, and then I'll quickly hit it again and it'll come right back. It does highly affect races because that happens 4, 5, 6 times in a race, and you've lost, between 5 to 10 seconds each time because you have to resettle and decide how you're going to drive from there. All right, Druggy, I'm actually trying to sell this because I just don't have time to run all these classes. I'm really getting into nitro. I got this one that I'm working on. Right now, it's just running on. It's the strangest thing. The carb is closing all the way, but it's running on. I did have a guy put a crazy tune on it, and so I'm just going to set all the carb watch. I kind of did this yesterday, but I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with the mid-speed needle. But yeah, we'll make a video about that and talk about that. This one is actually, hold on a second. All right, so anyway, this one is the one I ran last weekend and got second place with, which is a very difficult race. It's in the complete mud slop. It was crazy. And I had some very bald tires, something kind of like those. Not quite that bad, but actually there were these tires. That's exactly what I had on, yeah, because it was this buggy. This one, it's got the OS engine in it. Okay, so I was talking about this one actually runs really good. The idle is perfect. The clutch is hitting good. The low end, mid, and top are all doing pretty well. So it's starting to come around, man. I'm really starting to really enjoy nitro. And this thing gets like 8.5 to 9 minutes on a tank when I got it tuned properly. Because I was getting at least, like, we did 7-minute races, and afterwards I'd have, a good 1.5 centimeters of fuel in there, which I know I could get at least 2 more laps. Laps are about 40 seconds. So yeah. Anyway, so at least I probably get 8.5. Is what I would probably start with, at like 8. Just maybe try to squeeze an extra stop, but our races are typically 15, 20, maybe 30-minute races. Maybe in a 30-minute race, an extra lack of a pit stop might help out. This one I had to adjust this one I realized this one's got the e-buggy steering riser here for the bell crank. That's why it sits really high. I had to lower and put where the ball end attaches on the bottom. Usually it sits on top, but I've moved it to the bottom so there's clearance. On my other e-buggy, but you can't really see it in there, but it's got a totally different one of these little servo savers. It comes out way down. This one is really raised for the e-buggy. So this is an e-buggy servo saver on it. This is like a mix of a Pro and an Evo, which is basically what that one is as well. This is the one I purchased from Dude, but it's running really good. I really like. He must have had a good setup on it. Something's acting weird about this way that this thing handles. I did change the center diff fluid, and I'm hoping for better results after that, because it was really black and thin, and it just needs change. So I got some new diff fluid in the center diff, and I did the front and rear diff as I was building it, and I never did the center. I don't know why, but I have recently. So now the only issue is it's running on, and I'm thinking it could be a fuel issue, because I did have to reset the fuel 90-degree out for this gas tank, but because the other one had kind of broken off, and I'm thinking it might be leaking somewhere there, or maybe I just have one of the needles set improperly, and I'm thinking it's the mid-speed. I do remember somebody playing with the mid-speed, so they probably should not have. I should not have I hate letting people tune them up. I may not be the best tuner, but at least when I'm tuning it, I know where everything's at and what I'm doing. These guys, they just go in there and start doing what they do. Now I gotta say, I did have one friend, a close friend, help me get this buggy starting to tune in. I've adjusted it from there, and this thing is ripping. So check out the body on that thing. That's a Mugen body on a Serpent. I've got to where it'll fit both of these. Just had to cut the holes out on the side. And you don't want to run the e-buggy servo saver arm there, because it is too tall. But if you do, you got to run the ball link arm on the underside of it, which there's plenty of room for that. That's kind of how Mugens come. Everything works from underneath. But you see how tall this one is? See how high it is up here? So when I put the body on for the, for this, some Mugen body actually that I retrofitted, but it just doesn't want to clear that. And I also had to make some other areas for it to clear. But everything's clearing good now. And we're on there. I don't like on the OS, the engine sits a little lower and the muffler doesn't rub this, but I do have some of that metal shielded tape on there, so that shouldn't be a problem. This one does have Savox servos in it, so it's ready to go. The only deficit on this one's the engine, but the engine runs strong. Definitely better than this one. This one's still being broken in. But it's running good now. I just need it to stop running on, and I've set it to where it's closing the carburetor completely. And I'm wondering if there's something that's hanging the carburetor up. It could be the linkage. I probably need to look at the linkage and how I have the linkage set up, because I think I have the linkage a little bit sideways. Then, you know what? Let's take a look, because I know this ain't really proper, but see that this carburetor has a kind of long shank for the throttle pulley. So you see right here, see how long this shank is? Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. The other one has the issue. This one should be pulling just fine, actually. I'm very confused, guys. Really don't know what to say here. because it completely closes the throttle, and then it'll be running on. When I hit the brake, it stops. It don't do it no more. It's like it forced the carburetor closed. It's like something's hanging open. I might take the carburetor apart and look into that, and that's one thing I might need to do. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Each hoagie, love you for sale. Nitro's where it's at. Nitro is the glory. GS Racing, $140 engine, man, that thing is ripping. And, you know, the servos, the Savox servos make it handle and steer real well. But, yeah, that motor is definitely coming together now. It's like it's taken a few races for it to really get broken in, where it's like really ripping now. But that thing is ripping. It's a 7-bore, definitely lots of high end. A little lacking on low end, but I can do some things with the clutch, I think, and get it to where I want to be. But all right, guys, we'll see y'all next time. Later.